Hi there. This trap in a type of hybrid of the closed Sicilian with the Rossolimo variation has occurred many more times than I had expected. In my relatively small database it appears 18 times, so tradition dictates we name it after the highest rated player who used it. So this is the Iuldachev trap after the Uzbeki GM. E4 and C5, the Sicilian, knight c3, the closed variation. After knight c6, white plays this move, bishop b5, which is a type of Rossolimo variation. Usually the Rossolimo, the bishop b5, is played after knight f3. Indeed, it's become one of the mainline variations against knight c6. But here we're looking at it after white has played knight c3 rather than knight f6. Black can play this move, knight d4, avoiding trading on c6, which might ruin the pawn structure, and targeting the bishop on b5. So the bishop drops back to c4. Logical now is g6 to fianchetto the king's bishop. And after knight f3, bishop g7, here knight takes d4 is met not by bishop takes on d4, but c takes on d4, kicking the knight away immediately. But the knight doesn't have to move. White can play an in-between move, an intermezzo, queen f3, threatening a mate on the move on f7. So black has to defend. Leko and Rajabov and Shirov have all defended this position with knight h6, which defends f7. Also possible is knight f6, which has its merits, and in fact black can hold this position with knight f6, or the text move e6, which blocks the diagonal of the bishop on c4. Maybe the knight's heading for e7, but this move does create a large number of weaknesses on the dark squares. So white here will play knight b5, immediately threatening to exploit the weakness on d6 to invade knight d6 check. So black closes the hole with d6, but now swings the queen round. White swings the queen round to a3, and that pawn on d6 looks quite miserable. That's targeted, so black could defend with maybe king e7 or the text move bishop f8. In fact, threatening to play d5, which will hit the queen, as well as the bishop on c4. And white, though, allows that by now taking the pawn on d4. White now is a pawn up. After knight takes on d4, d5 can be played, hitting the bishop and the queen, but white has many in-between moves. One of them, bishop b5, is check. And after the bishop interposes bishop d7, the queen can swing round to d3. My engine tells me queen g3 is slightly better, but this will certainly be a comfortable advantage for white. So this has been called the Iuldachev trap in the Sicilian close. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.